What's up? Thanks for clicking on this video. This is Tom. Want to give you some highlights of a live stream that we did on the channel here, nearly an hour long last night on the starting rotation. Going to take you through some of the projections, some of the rankings. Just a quick hit thing. That full stream is available for you to watch if you have the time. But here are some of the highlights. I would love for you to join up on the next one. This whole month, there's going to be a lot of live streaming on the channel. We're going to be talking about the bullpen. On the next one, we'll talk about the lineup. We'll probably talk about minor league system. And I'm going to give my grade for the offseason. We're going to cover a whole bunch of stuff in these live streams over this month of February. But it's a great opportunity to come and hang out with a bunch of fellow Twins fans, interact with a bunch of other Twins fans. But let's get right into those starting pitching highlights. All right, and these are the depth charts projections over at Fangraphs. And again, like this representation here of the WAR projected for each of these guys, I think that really represents how I view them as well. Like it's really tough for me to rank these four guys in particular. And that's reflected here. They have Joe Ryan and Pablo Lopez, both at 2.3 WAR, Mahle at 2.2 WAR, and Sonny Gray at 2.1 WAR. So basically incredibly even on projections on all four of these guys. Kenta Maeda at a 1.5, Bailey Ober at a 0.9. All right, so what I've got pulled up here is the depth charts projections by team. So this is the starting pitchers by team, and just kind of to hammer home, kind of just to throw cold water. We want to be realistic here. We're excited. I was just pumping everybody up, talking about, how good things could be, but looking at it like it is, they do have the Twins projected to be the 16th rotation in baseball. I don't recall when the last time the Twins were, a middle of the pack rotation, and to see them ranked, ever so slightly above the Mariners, who do have some top of the rotation dudes and do have some guys that have some upside, possibly further than Joe Ryan, in my opinion, I think is nice. And it's because that depth, that rotation depth. And, if we look at it here too, I don't know if you can see this is a little bit small. So the Twins are ranked 16th, but things are pretty close. They're only one full win behind the Giants, which are, a handful of spots higher. So it's not like, it'd be impossible to see them reach into the top 10, even though I said they weren't in the top 10 rotation. We could maybe see with health, with some other things breaking right, that the White Sox are slightly ahead of the Twins, but both the White Sox and the Twins are above the Guardians on this projection here, which feels kind of crazy. When we think about the Guardians, I think it's, they're pitching, they're young pitching. They're so good at developing young pitching. But if you look at it again, they do have Shane Bieber. This is a great example of kind of what I was talking about when you compare the Twins rotation with some other rotations. You got Shane Bieber, 4-win guy, miles ahead of anybody the Twins have, a clear number one starter. Nobody in his class in the Twins. Tristan McKenzie at 2.7 WAR, it's in the neighborhood. He's still above the Twins guys, but it's in the neighborhood. And then you go down to Cal Quantrill, Aaron Savale, Zach Plesac, and everybody else. And it's like these guys are not as good as the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of the Twins. And again, just today, actually, they released the new version of their site. This is headed by Nick Pollock. If you know Alex Fast, he's another kind of big figure in the pitcher list world. Guys who do great work. Nick Pollock is a great pitching mind and devotes just a ton of effort and energy into scouting pitching, learning about pitching, watching pitching, talking about pitching. A guy who live streams a lot as well, and he gives his top 300 starting pitchers of 2023. And I wanted to go through and just find our Twins on here. The top Twins pitcher ranked on here, which again, I think is just a crapshoot on who. I think you could pull up 5 different resources and you might have, 3 or 4 different guys who end up on top. But it's Joe Ryan at 38th. So again, 30 teams in baseball, you'd hope that the Twins would have a guy in the top 30. They don't. Joe Ryan's 38th. He's the top ranked Twins on Nick's. And now I do want to mention too, we do have to sort of take into account that this is based on rankings for a 5x5 12 team fantasy baseball league. So it's not just like a straight up ranking of MLB. And it's funny that right after him, literally the next guy, is Pablo Lopez. But it might not be who you're expecting it to be. It is Kenta Maeda. Kenta Maeda at 53. Kenta Maeda above Kodai Senga, the guy who came over from Japan, got a nice contract from the Mets. So I really respect Nick's opinions and his thoughts on pitching. Now, he does say that, in the context of a 12-team league, again, that's sort of the thing we have to take into account with this ranking. If a guy this late doesn't work out in a fantasy team, you can just cut him. But he likes him as, kind of a flyer, and he really believes more in that we could see a 2020 version of Kenta Maeda. Maybe not that exact version, but 2021 was rough. Obviously he got injured, but Kenta Maeda was not pitching that well in 2021. Nick seems to be a little bit more inclined to give him a partial free pass, since he's kind of under the impression that Kenta Maeda probably wasn't healthy while he was pitching most of that year. But we didn't have to go too much far. Tyler Mahle was 57th, and Sonny Gray, Nick was a little worried about. He had him 64th, but still, that's 5 starting pitchers in the top 64. And again, that entire stream is available to you to replay if you'd like, almost an hour long. So check that out. I just want to say a quick thank you so much to all of the channel members. Here are the premium members listed below. Membership starts at $1.99 a month. You can hit that join button down below. Really helps me keep going, and especially through the off season here. Very grateful. Allows me to do fun stuff like live streams and stuff like that. So again, thanks for clicking on this video. This has been Tom. We'll talk again soon. Go Twins!